simply just ironing everything out in the pre-season, making sure the players are back to full fitness before they bring them into a competitive match situation. So here we go. Newcastle Jets, Adelaide United, the final match day of the round of 32 of the Australia Cup. And the final All A-League encounter. Adelaide looking to make history tonight. They will aim to become the first side in this competition's history to make the round of 16 for the 10th time. Newcastle, well, they've been knocked out in the round of 32 6 times. It would be a 7th time tonight if they were to be defeated by the Reds. So Josh Attard, our referee tonight. And the new eras begin for the Jets and Adelaide as Mark Milligan and Ayrton Andrioli take charge for the first time in a competitive match. And it's a very good evening to a man who played for Newcastle Jets in 2002, Daniel McBrain, and that's what the Jets are paying homage to tonight with their kit this evening. Good evening, Macca.
Takes me back. It's a big game for both these two teams. New coaches, as you mentioned, Jets in particular, fresh faces in that starting lineup. Adelaide, lots of familiar faces from last season. Probably the two biggest names from last season, or their past, in fact, in good ones. Archie and Craig not here tonight. Adelaide Fates will be looking forward to seeing them out in action, working in tandem.
This could be an early chance here for the Reds. Stefan Mork making a run in towards the penalty spot. This is Yull dropping it back. Now Bart Vreens in his second season, the Dutchman at Adelaide United. Kikianis playing alongside him in the centre-back role. Duzel. That's a nice ball. Exploiting the width down the right. Great opportunity for Luke Duzel as well for Adelaide. Limited opportunities for him last year. Just played the one match in the A-League men's competition. And I've been told a player that really impresses the new boss, Ayrton Andrioli. So 3.5 weeks they've been back at pre-season, these two sides. And both have had a blemish-free run through their pre-season fixtures. Adelaide 3 big wins, Newcastle a couple of wins against St George FC and Edgeworth. Adelaide beating the Cove, Playford City and Adelaide Blue Eagles quite convincingly. So they bring in some decent form through the early stages of pre-season. This is Bayliss. Vartuli. Slipped in behind for DeCooley. Tom Aquilina nailing his defensive responsibilities. The flag did come up, but he wasn't to know the Newcastle Jets captain.
Well, Newcastle Jets looking to press Adelaide high, but some good football played straight through the Jets' press and ended up with a decent position going forward. Just the timing of the run, a little too eager.
So a scrap for possession in midfield, and it's Newcastle who emerge with it. Mizunuma and Burgess. Back at Newcastle. He played for them back in 2015. And Burgess has a strike. Oh, what a save from Vartuli. Well, I've been told that Max Burgess has been absolutely killing it at training, and you can see why the coaching staff are saying that.
Yeah, well, when he just drifted into that pocket on the inside, you thought this is a dangerous area. He didn't need to be asked twice. Great strike, but equally great save as well. As this ball goes forward, he just says, get out the way, this is mine. Unleashes it, that's going top corner, and what a save that is. Right out of the top drawer.
So Newcastle with the short corner option, the diving header. Appeals from Newcastle for a handball. Gibson putting it wide of the mark. And that is a confidence-boosting start to this game for the home team.
It was a decent ball in, wasn't it? Gibson doing what any good striker should, getting across the defender at the front post.
Ben Gibson, who I've been told Darren Baisley, the All Whites head coach, has been having a look at. His mum was born in New Zealand, so you never know, maybe a bolter for the World Cup squad if he performs well in the coming season. He did well last season, 4 goals coming out of the NPL New South Wales, and did have a bit of an ankle issue late in the season. He's the target man for the Jets tonight. They use Wilmering down that left flank. Real focus being put on that work rate tonight by Mark Milligan. And there's a slip which affords Jovanovic some opportunity here. Uses Dukuli, and Tom Aquilino, hasn't he had a start to this game?
That's a wonderfully timed tackle, isn't it? Had to go central to cover the slip. He readjusted really quickly, didn't he? He thought the player central was going to be the danger. Quickly changed his footing, got out quickly to the player with the ball, and what a tackle that was. That was a dangerous situation.
And speaking of players who could well be bolters, back into last season, the Socceroos were having a look at Tom Aquilino for that right back role. Well, if he has a good season, same story as Ben Gibson. Certainly a player that could be elevated. And we touched on in our little pre-game chat, Macca, that Trevor Morgan, the under-20 young Socceroos boss, is in the house tonight, having a look at, well, he's got 4 players from Adelaide who are part of that winning squad in the under-20 Asian Cup. He's got 1 from the Jets and Alex Battolato. But opportunities for others if they perform well. They're in that age bracket. Some space being presented down the left. There's Max Burgess. Using Burgess again, finding Wilmering. And Vreen's away for Adelaide. Having some joy down that left edge, Newcastle.
Yeah. Max Burgess is imposing himself on this game early, isn't he? To get involved at every opportunity, just dropping into little spaces in between Adelaide defenders, facing forward.
You may be able to see a little bit of rain falling. You wouldn't call it torrential, you'd call it more annoying rain, a bit of a dusting of rain that's falling at the moment. Yeah,
that's perfect conditions for football. Pitch looks in good nick. It is a bit chilly, but it's all the more reason to get you moving out there.
Throw up the line. It's a good one. The challenge earns a corner here. Outlast off the Reds. But Vreen's not too impressed with the decision, but it is going to be a Newcastle Jets corner. And I've been told Max Cooper, number 42, the 18-year-old debutant tonight, he's a bit of a goal sneak from the set pieces. Here's the corner delivered in. Chance for the Jets. Fartuli after it. Shushnia recycles it. It is pinball in the box. Bayless had a strike. Unfortunately for the Reds, they remain unscathed.
Well, he was fortunate there, Fartuli, wasn't he? Came out to put pressure on the ball, but as it was laid back, he needed the help of his defenders to just block that ball. Fortuitously just fell into his arms. You said it, Benny. Jets having a little bit of joy down that left-hand side. Xavier Bertoncello twice now has got him behind and put some pressure on that defence inside the box.
So 5 new faces in this Jets lineup tonight in the starting 11. Delianov, the ex-Adelaide man, Burgess, Battolato, and then the 2 academy products in Cooper at centre-back and Bertoncello down that left edge for the Jets. It's a well-earned free kick for Newcastle. Burgess. And Aquilina measuring the pass to Mizunuma. Adelaide able to clear up the line. Newcastle coming back, and in the end just a little too heavy from Aquilina.
It was a lovely pass down the line, wasn't it, for Mizunuma. He just didn't have the legs. Tried to go to ground to drag the ball in and just misjudged it a little.
First 10 minutes gone here at Maitland Sports Ground. Newcastle Jets, Adelaide United in this all A-League men's round of 32 clash. 4th time these two sides have met in the Australia Cup. Adelaide winning on the 3 previous occasions, 2017 and 2019 in Adelaide, and then in 2022 in Newcastle. Burgess was searching there for Wilmering. Battolato, though, earns it back for the Jets. Mizunuma. The cross is going to bend away for Bertoncello to track down. Burgess. And that's lovely work by Newcastle off the post. Oh, what a chance there for Battolato. What a way to introduce himself to the Newcastle Jets fans that would have been.
Well, the space just opened up for him, didn't it? On the edge of the box. Good little play, interplay from the Jets again. Battolato just on the edge of the box. Comes coming back off the post. You have to say it's been a bright start for Mark Milligan's team.
They've certainly brought the energy which Mark Milligan was talking about this week. Really big focus for them coming into this one early on in pre-season. Intensity and intent. And playing on the front foot, really squeezing Adelaide inside their own half. That was the message from him during the week. You can just see a little bit of water spraying up on the pitch, so might just be getting a touch heavy. We've not had too much rain sort of in the last few weeks, but it's more so been the last couple of days. Bayliss and Wilmering. Bertoncello again getting himself in a good position down the left. Can he find a target? Tries to dish it off to a teammate. He's been dynamic, hasn't he, the new Lambton junior, but there could be some space here. Shushnia has to get across and does. And Aquilina calmly back to Delianov.
Well, again, Xavier Bertoncello getting him behind, causing problems. He started off as a youngster, more as a winger or a wing back. He's been converted by Damien Zane, the NPL coach, to a striker. 12 goals in the NPL League One this season. Really maturing as a player as well. Physically strong.
12 goals he's scored in the Football New South Wales League One. Newcastle sitting in 3rd in that position, just 1 point off top spot in a potential promotion, which would mean back-to-back promotions as Burgess overhits it in front of Aquilina. That'd be massive for Newcastle if they can earn their way up into the NPL New South Wales, especially for that academy, just getting that quality of competition every week.
Well, it's tied at the top in League One, isn't it? From 1st to 7th, I think it's 4 points. Separates 1st to 7th. A little way to go in that. So there's plenty of teams who have got their eyes on the prize. But they have been in red-hot form of late. NPL Jets. think it's 4 or 5 games in a row where they've scored 4 goals. A real hot streak.
And Burton Cello, Ollie Cockle, who we're not seeing tonight, but another talented young player for the Jets we may have a look at this season. And it's Ryan White looking for the release of Yull, who's in a foot race now with Wilmering. And he's done well there, Yull, down the right-hand flank. Can he find a teammate in the middle? Well, he's run away from Wilmering. That is brilliant work by Yull, and it is Adelaide United through their captain, Stefan Mork, on the counter-attack. It's been all Newcastle for the first 14.5 minutes, and Johnny Yull, excellent work down the right, sets up his captain, and the Reds lead 1-0.
Well, he was just too big and strong, wasn't he? Too quick, Johnny Yull. Clean pair of heels down the outside of Wilmering there. When you think Wilmering's got his number, comes back, resets, and off he goes again, leaves him in his wake. And as he does so often, Stefan Mork just drifting into that 6-yard box with the easiest to finish. And as you say, Benny, it's been all the Jets in the opening 15 minutes or so. And just like that, the experience gets one at the other end.
Well, that has got to be frustrating for Newcastle, and especially Daniel Wilmering, who was just absolutely turned inside out by the speed of Johnny Yull. He is a talent, we know that. He was part of that young Socceroos side who won the AFC Under-20 Asian Cup. And that is a nice little assist to put on his highlights reel. And Stefan Mork, as he did back in December last year, he scored the only goal in a 1-0 win for Adelaide against Newcastle. And I'm pretty sure you would have been doing that match with me, Macca, maybe. But incredibly, that goal, I'm pretty sure, was scored in the first 20 minutes. The difference was, in that game, Adelaide were just absolutely dominating Newcastle, and it could have been 2 or 3. Tonight,
I think it could have been more than that from memory, yeah. I think Daniel Wilmering, Mark Milligan, will be pretty disappointed in that. You know, the basic tenets of football is you go out and you win your individual battle. Well, Johnny Yull just left him for dead, not once, but twice, and it was way too easy. You saw the Jets get in behind on a couple of occasions at the other end. White shirts back to cover. Well, they were left wide open there, the Jets.
Ivanovic. And you've got to give credit, though, Stefan Mork. He always gets himself in those areas, doesn't he?
Well, he does. He comes late. While everybody's watching the ball or attracted to other plays, he just drifts into space. He does it so well. The timing is good. Doesn't get there too early. Arrives on time. It's a simple tap-in, really, but it's all about the timing and the positioning.
Burgess here, Mizanuma. This is neat build-up. Aquilina down. He goes in the box. He's grabbing at a leg here. This does not look good. He's rolling around Tom Aquilina. Gee, I hope he's all right. Referee has not called play to a halt, and he's still down, Tom Aquilina, in the Adelaide penalty box. This will be interesting to have a look on the replay, whether he was collected or whether it was the leg that landed awkwardly. He's had a really good start to this match.
It doesn't look good, does it? He looks to be in quite a deal of pain.
It was strong, really heavy contact, wasn't it?
Well, it was good play again. You see Mizanuma coming on the inside. Strike there. Colina, sorry. Strong. And then it's a real knee-on-knee clash, isn't it? Or shin-on-knee.
Does the knee hyperextend there?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I am as well. And this is a big loss for Newcastle, because is their captain tonight. Just having a look at options. Obviously, Mark Natter there on the bench. Macca. They've got not really a whole lot of defensive cover in that position. Costa Grozos playing midfield, so you'd expect it would take a reshuffle potentially.
Of some sort, yeah. We saw Costa Grozos playing in the back line quite a lot last year. Maybe something along those lines.
Unless they bring on Mark Natter at right fullback.
Well, yeah. would be an obvious one, really, I guess.
So everyone holds their breath, and we were literally just singing his praises at the start of this match, Tom Aquilina, saying that Socceroos were having a look based on his form last season.
Particularly his attacking form as well. He defended well, but this is the part of the game that he's improved so much. Getting forward, getting into good positions, his assists last year, and that is a solid challenge.
Well, I'm not sure about the. Kikianis was having a few words to him on the ground. I don't know whether you're saying get up, but it's not a good look when the player ends up down injured and you're giving them a few words when they're on the deck. Aquilina's able to run it off. Well, for the moment. I'm sure you'd know, Macca, when you hyperextend that knee, there's just that fear that it's going to happen again, isn't there?
Well, you go throw back to these shirts they're wearing tonight. Back in 2002, I hyperextended my knee and I jogged off. It turned out I'd had a partial tear in my ACL, so I'm just feeling still a little bit worried for him now, even though he's jogged off, because I've had that feeling before. Let's hope that it's just a knock and he can run it off and it's all good. He's back out there now anyway. He's looking to get involved on this near side.
Yeah, he's certainly hobbling still. But we'll wait and see if he can run it off. Mizunuma linking with Burgess. There is no doubt Newcastle's attacking play. It's looking dynamic. It's looking entertaining.
Well, we heard Mark Milligan say that he wants that really up-tempo attacking style of play when they don't have the ball. He wants them pressing. He wants pressure on the ball. As I said, that's what should be a trademark of his team. You just have to be careful. You just have to be careful with that line there as well. Sujnia dropping, Cooper stepping up. Senior player with a debutant next to him. That communication needs to be spot on. Jovanovic, he'll look to threaten that line at any opportunity. This man as well, Cooley.
So Adelaide United, the Cup Kings, 3 times they've won this competition, more times than any other side. Leading 1-0 here, looking to make it 2-0. This pass just behind Ryan White, Jovanovic as well, strong-footed.
Well, you're right with the Cup Kings, aren't they? Maybe they've won it 3 times. They've made the final another. They've only lost 1
in the round of 32. And do you remember who it was against?
It was Redlands.
That's
in
right.
The biggest upset, I think, of the year. If my memory serves me correctly, it was a mistake from Eugene Galekovic.
It was. Yeah. It was. Gee, your memory is good, Macca.
Well, sometimes it is. Other times it's terrible, but I got that one right.
I'm trying to think. That year, Edgeworth, I think you would have done all right. You would have made the round of 16 that year. I think that was the year you beat Far North Queensland Heat in the round of 32. If my memory serves me correctly. Maybe.
May have been.
But, yeah, that was incredible because that came as well after Adelaide won the championship. And it was funny how often that happens. Western United had the same fate occur in that clash against Sydney United a few years ago. So, yeah, that shows you Adelaide's strength in this competition. As Takuli has Newcastle backtrack, Aquilina. He looks to be running a little more freely now, which is good news. Oh, no. He goes down and grabs the leg again.
Spoke too soon there. He's just going back to hobbling again.
Vartuli across to Yull. Little slip. This is the key moment. Now this is going to test out Aquilina as Mizunuma. Not going to reward the run, but Burgess may, and Burgess is dispossessed. Jovanovic to Cooley. Shushnia under pressure here. The cross all the way in front of the face of Newcastle's goal. Yull catches up with it. He's got some targets in the middle. Mork is one of those. And this is the issue for Newcastle. Adelaide, every time they counter-attack, they look so dangerous.
Well, I think they let the Jets off the hook there. They had space, they had numbers. They could have just kept driving into the box to allow the support players to come into the correct area. Just played it across a little too soon. Jets defence are at 6s and 7s.
And one thing that we're going to get a look at tonight, both coaches' philosophies, and we know, that real intent from Newcastle on their home turf is something that Mark Milligan wants them to bring. Speaking to Anton Andrioli, the Reds boss, see how this raid plays out for Adelaide. Yowell's cross. Again, it's dangerous and very nearly in the back of the net. If we're in Adelaide, you probably would have called that a crowd goal, but we're in Newcastle, so no one cheered at all. It was very, very close to going in again from Moore.
Well, he'll be very disappointed with that. It was a delicious ball in. Again, his timing of his run was fantastic. And the goal was just beckoning. Somehow he's contrived to miss the target. 6 yards out.
Just on Andrioli, he said that he's a coach that really wants to be adaptable to opposition. He's not one of these coaches where plan B is to do plan A better. It is very much, yes, let's play to our strengths, but also let's see how that works with where we can exploit the opposition. And they're doing that to a T tonight. You've got to give them credit.
Yep.
And yes, they wouldn't have had a whole real opportunity to look at what Newcastle were going to bring, because they haven't seen Newcastle under Mark Milligan unless they've been spying on those couple of pre-season matches. They are adapting really well, Adelaide United, thus far. Here's a strike from long range. Gee, that was not far away. It was Bertoncello, who I'm told has got the most powerful boot at the club, and he put that on show.
Well, again, it was a little bit of space around the edge of the box. Bertoncello just had a glance up. I can tell you, Vartuli was on the stretch. He wasn't sure if it was going wide or not.
So Adelaide playing it out from the back. Kikianis flipping it forward. Shushnia coming, and his pressure earning Newcastle the ball.
Yeah, that was an old school centre-half challenge.
This is a bit sloppy, though, from the Jets. Stefan Mork. A real scrap there with Bayless, Taladera, and White. Flex into the path of Jovanovic, who Shushnia's got a real hold of. And the cross, another good one. It was teasing there for Mork. He is just about everywhere. You'd think he's the striker tonight, Stefan Mork, and not Luka Jovanovic.
He does time those runs well, doesn't he? I said it earlier. He wasn't far off again.
So not only have Newcastle lost all 3 previous meetings with Adelaide in the Australia Cup, they have not even scored. 1-0 they lost in 2017 in the round of 32 and in the quarterfinals in 2019, and then 2-0 in the round of 32 2022. So it probably goes to show the best, most successful Australia Cup side and one of the worst. Newcastle are the only side to have been eligible for every edition of the Cup and never made it past the quarterfinals. That is A-League men's clubs. The only 2 sides that haven't done that, Auckland, of course, this is their first edition, and Western United, who have been to the quarters, but of course haven't played in every edition. So it has been somewhat of a Bermuda Triangle, the Australia Cup for the Newcastle Jets. But then again, they haven't really performed that well in the A-League either, so probably makes sense. Aquilina. Nice turn in midfield from Battalato. Forwards the opportunity for Mizunuma. The cross in is well handled by Vartuli.
Well, he did well, Vartuli. It was probably just the right height for him. Mizunuma looking to just drift it to the back post.
Bartuli. Taladira spurned it up towards Ryan White. Bit of pressure on the red here. It's not convincing, and turned over to Bayliss. This is Cooper, teenage debutant, alongside the one-time Socceroo Shushnia, so great experience combination there. Wilmering's early delivery. There's a slip in the box, which didn't assist the Jets. Bayliss. Neat into play again from Newcastle. Bartuli, sharp save, and it was Aquilina. Oh my goodness. He is limping extremely heavily. It is a really brave effort, you would call it, but gee, I hope he's not doing any further damage, Macca, especially after what you said before.
That is the worry. When he's in that action, he seems to forget about it, and then once the action's over, he goes straight back into that limping mode. Put himself in a good position again there, inside the box. They're getting the shots away.
Wilmering up against Yull again. He is giving him, I should say it was Shushnia who got over there on that occasion. That was more of an unfair fight, because Yull with the speed up against Shushnia. But Wilmering again higher up the pitch. Yull really trying to exploit that. Aquilina hanging it up for Battalato. Here's Anuma. And this is Gibson. Ben Gibson! Fantastic finish from Ben Gibson. And you cannot say the Newcastle Jets have not deserved a goal. 1-1 in Maitland.
Well, I was just mentioning they're getting their shots away inside the box, and it's from a similar position of the last two forays. Down that right-hand side, they've shown some real combinations tonight. And as you watch the reverse pass here from Mizunuma, just sets the defence the wrong way, and Gibson does extremely well. Looks to go on his right, cuts back inside, and it's a sublime finish. But it's this pass here. Look at the two Adelaide defenders. They're stepping up, and that's enough for Ben Gibson to get the space. When he cuts inside, he just has to tuck it away, and it's a neat finish. And it's no more than they deserve.
So 1-1 at Maitland, and Newcastle, for the first time in Australia Cup history, have scored against Adelaide United. First time in 4 attempts. Now, if you're enjoying your Australia Cup action, and I don't know, you're going back and watching the other matches, I'd just mute us right now, because I'm just going to give a little spoiler. But tell you what, there maybe a cup set on the cards at Leichhardt Oval. Apia Leichhardt leading Melbourne City 1-0. The champions again. How often does it happen? Champions of the A-League start the next season a little slowly. Keep an eye on that as Newcastle pushing forward again. This time it's Mizunuma with the overlap. Newcastle through Battalato. Well, they are full of confidence now, Newcastle. They started this match full of confidence. And the goal didn't knock them down a couple of pegs. It almost inspired them to lift further. And now with a real chance to try and push themselves in front. And the corner from Wilmering. Well handled by Adelaide. Here's a foot race. And it is going to be a yellow ticket here. Alex Battalato in that wrestle with Jakuli. Yeah, so we've got some interesting matches tonight in the round of 32. Metro Stars playing Canberra, Croatia in the nation's capital. That'll be chilly down there. And then the Brisbane Derby, Olympic and Brisbane City. 0-0 at the moment. Metro Stars leading Canberra, Croatia. South Australia looking to get at least one side through to the last 16. Bayliss. Clearance only as far as Kikianis. Duzel. This is almost the first time in the game I can remember, Macca, Adelaide having comfortable possession around this area of the pitch. Most of their other opportunities have really come on the counter-attack.
Yeah. Mostly the Jets who have dictated the play. It hasn't really been sustained possession from Adelaide at any stage in this first half, like you say.
That was a heavy fall. Vartuli couldn't utilise the speed of Takuli. Certainly a wonderful outlet for Adelaide down the left. Yull on the right, Takuli on the left. Yull having a massive part to play in the Mork goal on 15 minutes. Ben Gibson equalising for Newcastle in the 31st. Aquilina slipping over. And he gets back to his feet. He's running a lot better now, Aquilina, in those moments where he's not involved in play. That was where he was limping before. As you said, Macca, when he was involved in the action, he wasn't limping at all. But
yeah, he's still grabbing at it now. And I just wonder, maybe the half-time might be the time when they say, is it time to give it a rest and look after it? Because as you say, every time the play goes away from him, limp mode comes back out again, and he's just reaching for it every now and then.
So Adelaide sensing a moment here. Turn away. Giselle for Greens. And again, Adelaide able to get themselves in behind. What about that cutout? Well, that was excellent work by the 18-year-old on debut for Newcastle, Max Cooper, with the cutout.
Well, he had to get there, didn't he? Jovanovic was just behind him, just waiting. It was a wonderful ball over the top. Jovanovic, he is sweating on him missing that. Not to be on this time.
Corner kick here for Adelaide. And Takuli dangerously whipped in towards that near post. Over the head of Reigns. Battalato skip over the challenge. Duzel. Takuli over on the right in this occasion. Mork making the forward run. He unleashes a strike and saved by Delianov. Easier said than done in those kind of moments for Delianov. That kind of save, because it is coming down quite heavily, the rain. A little bit slippery out there. Here's the goal scorer for Newcastle in Gibson. Utilising Aquilina. Mizunuma. Will dink over the top. Looking for the 1-2 with Gibson.
I'm impressed with the Jets play in those wide corridors, the combination play. He passes inside, then out, runs in behind from the attacking midfield position.
Look at that rain. Gee, I'm happy, Macca, we're not on the scaffolding on that far side of the pitch. We've got to thank the Jets media manager, Tom Logan, for getting us in this box. Oh, my goodness. It looks wet and cold out there.
You've got to give it to the faithful who are out there, innit?
Good on them. It's a great effort. It's a good crowd here, considering the weather at Maitland Sports Ground. Cooper, Aquilina, just comes the flag. Early days though, Macca, for Max Cooper, but I just think young centre-back, it's taking me back to last season with Dylan Leonard, who just got an opportunity out of nowhere.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, he's an absolute lock and probably isn't going to be at Western United too much longer.
Yeah.
You'd expect him to go overseas.
Well, the good thing I like about it as well is that he's got a senior centre-back next to him in Sushnia. Aquilina now, who's got plenty of games under his belt on the other side, so he's got experience next to him to guide him, to talk to him, to get him through the game. And that's what you need. When these youngsters come in, they need that little bit of guidance next to them, a senior head, to just give them the little moments, when to go, when to stay, hold a line. Well, Aquilina's done well there again on the challenge, and then as he's turned around to call for it, he's just buckled on that knee again. I don't think we'll see him after half-time. I think they're best to get him off and look after the knee. It's a long way to go for pre-season. It's a wonderful ball.
Yeah, injured or not, put it right on the spot. Bertoncello in a link with Battalato. Now he's just overrun it. Now Adelaide heading in the other direction. Ryan White and Mork. So men making their move towards the middle as Cooley saunters his way down the left. Up go the hands from Newcastle for offside. The flag did come up eventually. And off go Newcastle quickly. Bayless. Maybe both sets of plays just getting a little bit fatigued. Well, that is very well in by Bertoncello, because everyone had given up on it and he came flying out of nowhere. Puts the pressure on. Adelaide have a throw in. Yeah, that is the story. Win tonight here in Maitland.
Well, Benny, I know you like your stats. When you look at the stats, it's 11 shots to the Jets to 3 for Adelaide. 3 shots to 2 on target. You have to say that the Jets have controlled large portions of this game. Showed some...
Oh, Shushnia has been dispossessed here. Jets fans were unimpressed with the contact. Allows him time, though, to get back as Burgess angles the pass in front of Aquilina. Captain back to Burgess. Now with Bayless. Shushnia. Oh, I tell you what, I just had visions of Alex Shushnia's strike when he was playing for Perth in the driving rain against Wellington, I believe it was.
The Unite round,
it was,
wasn't it?
Yeah, Unite round at Combank Stadium. It was absolutely teeming down. It was probably like this. And he just went bang into the top corner, and I thought maybe he might have another dip here. Aquilina. Is Enuma. Has that left foot delivery. Just a little over hit over the head of Bertoncello. So just over a couple of minutes remaining in this first half. You'd expect we might have a little bit of stoppage time for that stoppage after the Aquilina injury. And just as I mentioned that, I had a little glance at him. He's grabbing that left knee again. Martuli. Taladira. Here's another foot race. The injured Aquilina versus Cooley, who is winning that battle. He's got no one in the middle at the moment. Mork is arriving, though. Jovanovic sitting a little deeper. Jovanovic trying to shift it onto the right. Now with Ryan White. And Mizunuma, the quick release. Bertoncello, will he put it right on the spot? And just got it caught between his legs. A little bit of a tangle there.
As we approach half-time, I think when you look at both managers, how they'll look at this, I think Mark Milligan will be quite happy. Pretty much dominating across the board on the stats, possession. They've been creative going forward. Newton Andreoli might be thinking, maybe can we have a little bit more possession? I know they're away from home, but can they control the game a little more? It's been a little bit of counter-attacking football, transitional football.
A little bit of a heavy touch, invited Newcastle on. Burton Cello, we know of his prowess from distance, just didn't get a chance to unload there. And Cooley, here is a foot race with Shushnia. Had to get there, Alex Shushnia. Had to time that to perfection. And we've got 2 minutes of additional time. Is there another chance in this first half? You'd probably expect. It's been a good watch. It has been a good watch this first half.
Yeah, it has, Benny. As I say, there's been some good football played.
I was going to say, I called that Western United Sydney FC match last night, and there's probably been more chances in this first half than we saw in the 90 last night. It was a very tight tussle, that one. Limited opportunities. Sydney FC getting a win via Matthias McAllister. Burgess looking up. Maybe both sides just looking for the sheds. What are you doing here at halftime, Macca? Are you just trying to have maybe a warm shower? Are you trying to dry off and get a little bit warm at halftime? What would you be doing?
Well, hopefully they've got a dry kit for you hanging up as you go in.
Oh, you would want that, wouldn't you? You wouldn't want to be sitting in that wet kit for the next 15 minutes over halftime. A little bit of motion being shown. Referee Josh Attard just breaking that up. So Bayliss herring after it. Probably about 10 seconds remaining. Josh Attard has a look at the watch. Newcastle will have to move it quickly if they want one last chance. Burton Cello, little slip does for him. And that is half-time here at Maitland Sports Ground. It was Newcastle Jets who have dominated the first half for the most part, but it was Adelaide United who opened the scoring. Stefan Mork scoring for the Reds in the 15th minute, but then Newcastle were able to hit back Ben Gibson just after the half-hour mark. And at halftime, at a sodden Maitland Sports Ground, it is Newcastle Jets 1, Adelaide United 1. And there was that early strike from Max Burgess. Gee whiz. It was an entertaining first half. We are going to take a break, and we'll be back with the halftime show right after this from Maitland.
What are you doing?
We're planking.
It's because of our internet providers.
We're stuck in 2011.
Same slow internet speeds.
And high prices.
It's like a nightmare.
Enough planking. Superloop is a network purpose-built for the super-fast future of the internet. You are free.
Don't take it lying down, Australia. Refresh your internet.
Good evening and welcome back to Maitland Sports Ground. You'd say it's a nice night to be by the fire, but Newcastle Jets fans and a few Adelaide spectators in the house tonight on a very wet and cold night. And it is Newcastle Jets and Adelaide United locked at 1-1. Daniel McBreen, your thoughts on that first half?
Well, I thought it was a particularly good display from the Jets, to be honest. They started off well. Artuli forced into a great save early. They pressured. They had more shots than Adelaide. They controlled more of the game. And they just couldn't find a way through that Adelaide defence. But they kept probing. They showed some good combinations. And then it was some, I'd have to say, pretty poor defending from Wilmering. Johnny Yull does very well, but this is too much space, too much time. Allowed to reset and just runs past Wilmering like he's not there. And as he did so often, particularly last year, Stefan Mork, Johnny on the spot, arriving at the right time on the edge of the 6-yard box to put them in front. But it was, after that, it was again all the Jets. Tommy Aquilina there with a really heavy challenge, and he struggled with his knee after that, but was fought on till half time.
Well, question for me, Mac, at Newcastle, does Mark Milligan say at half time, just keep playing the way you are?
I think so.
And is it Adelaide who need to adjust? And the question is, how do they adjust? How does Ayrton Andrioli ensure his team is a little more comfortable with possession in the first half? Because a lot of their attacks were on the counter-attack.
Well, let's be honest. As we went off to the break there, off air, we said you know, Ryan White, we didn't realise he was there. Dylan Parias, we didn't really mention him at all going forward. They need to get more of a hold on the ball in midfield and allow Parias to get forward. We saw him marauding forward last year. Well, we haven't seen him.
Yeah, he's playing at right fullback tonight, a lot deeper than he was last year. Last year he was playing higher up the pitch, so it's an interesting move, but he's certainly blunted in an attacking sense.
Exactly. He can't go forward if they don't have the possession. If they were to hold possession and maybe get a little field position as well, a little higher, then he can start to inch forward and get into that position of a higher area where he can say, right, now I'm going to get you on the back foot. But he's been the one defending. Xavier Bertoncello's been running in his back, causing him problems. And they've done the same down the right, the Jets, on the right-hand side with Kota Mizunuma, Aquilina and Max Burgess all being a part of the play to get them into good areas.
One of the big talking points, Macca, from the first half was the injury to Tom Aquilina. This was the incident. He played out the rest of the first half. It was very, very tough because he was showing a lot of signs of issues with that left knee.
Yeah, it was a really heavy challenge. A great run. This is a part of his game that I think has improved immensely. But you see there, I think the collision with Kikianis, maybe there's a bit of hyperextension in the knee. Now, if you have a quick look here, see how the knee just, as he's on the floor, the connection, his foot's on the floor, his knee seems to jar backwards, and I'm hoping that there's nothing major done inside there. He's managed to get through the rest of the half, so hopefully that's a good sign, but I'll be very, very surprised if we see him come out in the second half.
All right, well, from a wet Maitland Sports Ground, we are going to take a break. We're going to be back for the second half very, very soon.
Well, with this fabulous weather we've got here at Maitland Sports Ground, it's time to head up to the merch stands where we've got some fantastic merch to wrap yourselves up with, whether it's a scarf, a jumper, a beanie, whatever you need to do. It is currently supporting Sports Power in Hamilton, so make sure you get in before it all sells out. Spectators must refrain from any disorderly conduct or conduct that may injure the reputation and goodwill of FA and the code of football generally. Any person who does not comply with this spectator code of behaviour or who otherwise causes disturbance may be evicted from the venue and may be banned from attending future matches.
We're here at Maitland Sports Ground. It's the final match day of the round of 32 of the Australia Cup, brought to you by Hahn in 2025. And this is an all A-League encounter. Two new eras beginning for Newcastle Jets and Adelaide United. The Jets under new boss Mark Milligan, while the Reds under their former assistant coach Ayrton Andrioli, the Brazilian, who played for West Adelaide in the NSL. He's coached the Solomon Islands. He's coached Canberra United in the A-League Women's competition, or the forerunner to the A-League Women's competition. He's also been a coach with the Australian under-20s, assistant youth team boss at Adelaide. Now he gets his chance to set the direction of the first team. And at half-time, maybe the scoreline flatters the visitors, Daniel McBrain.
Yeah, to a degree. I think Newcastle controlled the game, had the better opportunities, had better field position, but they went to sleep for a moment. Daniel Wilmering got torn apart by Johnny Ull down that far side, and that's all it takes. And Stefan Mork was there to capitalise. They would have spoke about that you can't have those lapses in concentration, especially when they've dominated so much of the game. But you've got to be awake. You've got to stay alert at all times.
So Ben Gibson, he's ready to go. He's got the ball in the centre circle. Referee in position. Adelaide just getting themselves back in position. Now, just having a little look. Tom Aquilina, he is still on the field.
Yeah,
the Jets captain.
And he still seems to be limping.
He does. I tell you what, he's going to earn a lot of praise from the Jets fans. Newcastle, hard-working town, working-class people, and I tell you what, they're going to appreciate. They're really going to appreciate Aquilina's efforts tonight. Maybe not if he gets injured, but still give him plenty of props.
Well, I'm sure he was assessed at half-time, and maybe it's just the pain of a collision. That's about it.
So back underway in the second half, round of 32 of the Australia Cup. And it's Newcastle Jets through Wilmering. Here's the 18-year-old Max Cooper. Didn't look out of place in that first half. Remembering that a fortnight ago he was playing for the 18 side. As the flag comes up for offside. So he's playing for the 18 side in the Football New South Wales League One youth competition. And then there was an injury in the first team. He was promoted, got an opportunity. Mark Milligan had a look at him, and I tell you what, he was impressed. And he brings him all the way up into the first team. Wanted a right footer to partner Shushn out, so he wanted the right and left footer in those centre back roles.
Well, he's had 6 starts in that NPL team.
In the first team. Yeah. 6 starts this season.
6 starts this season, yeah. So, you know, he's by no means is he a stalwart of the team, but that's one thing that Mark...
Oh, pressure applied. Here is Burgess. Burgess shaping up. And it was well blocked by Bart Vreens, and Newcastle have a corner.
I just thought maybe he could have taken that strike one step earlier. He just lined up and then went for an extra touch, and that was enough for Vreens to just get the block in.
So the corner from Mizunuma, we can know he puts it right on the spot. I tell you what, could have gone anywhere there in the 6-yard box. Mizunuma again delivering off the head of Vreens. Wilmering, just a little miscommunication between him and Bayliss. Newcastle starting the second half like they did the first on the front foot. Cooper and Wilmering. Oh, there's a little move back on Johnny Yull. A little bit of a return from the first half, and the delivery was pretty good. Spills here for Burgess. Deflection. Leaving it for Battalato. There is Alex Battalato's first goal in Newcastle colours. And what a strike that was. The Jets in front for the first time. And the man who scored in Newcastle for Western Sydney back in 2021 in the Cup, he's done it for the Jets, and they have the lead.
Number 19 for the Newcastle Jets.
Well, a little bit of redemption for Daniel Wilmering as well. Beautiful bit of skill on this near touchline. Just have a look at this. Goes one way or the other, then through the legs. Oh, and you're thinking, go on, there's the gap you can put the ball in. Takes his time, and as it falls out, ball comes to Battalato. Well, my apologies. Second attempt, it comes to Battalato. Gets it out of his feet, and it's a tidy finish into the bottom corner. Lovely strike. I just wonder if there were a couple of choice words from Mark Milligan at half-time about that Adelaide goal, and Daniel Wilmering said, well, I need to go and make something out of nothing and set the ledger straight. Well, he got him on the front foot. Battalato finished it off.
Yeah, scored at number 2 Sports Ground for Western Sydney against Broadmeadow Magic back in 2021. Announced himself on the national stage. And here they come again, Newcastle. They are threatening to score again. And now on the volley, and has gone wide from Max Burgess. There was a lot of talk about Battalato back then. I remember there was a lot of excitement, and it has taken him a little while, but I tell you what, after that performance at the Under-20 Asian Cup, Melbourne victory last season after the time with Western Sydney, and now makes the move to Newcastle, you feel like, pardon the pun, massively pardon the pun, but this is time for liftoff in his career as Bertoncello down the left. Oh, look at the technique, the outside of the boot. No fear from Bertoncello, the 20-year-old. I'm liking the look of these Newcastle Jets youngsters. Macro, I'm just wondering where they've been all these years. You got to answer that, you know.
Well, I'll leave that one alone. Because they've been there. Damien Zane does a very good job with them. And that's the one thing. See after this corner, I'll let it go, see how this goes. But Mark Milligan, not afraid to use youth.
Adelaide, they've shown the way for every other A-League club. Here's Wilmering's corner. They get another chance here. Goes Kikianis. Battle on the air with Burgess, and cleared by the Reds. All hands to the pump once again by Adelaide. Gee, that was a little bit awkward for Aquilina. Shushnia. Bertoncello. Returning it to Shushnia, the centre-back. Playing as the left winger here. Battalato almost trying to spin. Here's Bertoncello. Burgess and Bayliss. Cooper. Wilmering, full of confidence now. And just unable to find Alex Shushnia. Well, Macca, we so often say it, you know, you of course are going to make mistakes in all facets of life, you know. This is getting quite profound now, but it's about how you respond. And that shows Daniel Wilmering's mindset, doesn't it? He could have gone into his shell after that mistake in the first half defensively. It was his fault, of course, but he didn't. He's come out and said, well, I'll get one back on Johnny Yull, and didn't he do that? And here could be another chance. It's Burgess this time, firing away, and over the bar it goes.
Well, I said it could have been a few choice words from Mark Milligan at half-time. That may not have been, you know, digging him out. He might have said, come on, that's not good enough. You can do better than that. Show me what you've got. A little bit of encouragement. That's gone now. Let's do something in the second half. It's all about the delivery, knowing your players, which one need to be dug out, which one need a little bit of an arm around their shoulder to say, come on. And I think Mark Milligan knows that with his players, from what I understand.
Bayless. Bayless! Maybe, yes, firing some shots at goal, but just a little bit of impatience maybe from Newcastle. A couple of long-range efforts, and maybe Ben Gibson just mentioning that. Keep trying to play through as they did in the first half. But just on that point, Macca, I asked Mark Milligan about that, especially with Max Burgess. I said, is he appreciating a bit of love? And he laughed and he said, all footballers appreciate a bit of love.
Yeah.
And you just feel like that's why exactly he's getting a lot out of his charges. You can see that here tonight. Still a fair bit of time to go though. To Cooley. And White. Aquilina with the cutout. And it's Burgess holding things up for the moment. Now. And Burgess rewarding the run down the right-hand flank. And Badalate, well, it's just in that moment, Aquilina just dropped back a touch. So to Mizunuma.
Well, if you want to get back to your question about the youth, Benny, my understanding is that when Mark Milligan came in, his first question was, I'll let this go here.
And Paris getting higher, and that's good signs for Adelaide. Dylan Paris getting into those positions. We did not see it too often in the first half.
Not at all. Mark Milligan's first question was, why you have so little scholarships? He said, you need to have more scholarships. We need more young players training with the first team. And he's brought 5 or 6 of them in to train. And he said the performances have been outstanding. He's been really impressed. And when you come through, when you've been in Adelaide, as you said, Adelaide, they're the benchmark. They've shown Australia how you can bring these young players through. And he's been there, seen that. And I'm sure that Newcastle faithful is hoping that that methodology will come.
Well, Bertoncello, some serious toe. Angles the pass in towards Burgess, utilising the crossing of Mizunuma. And Morg has poked that one over the sideline. Well, that's the thing. In Adelaide, the young players know they're going to get a chance. And for so long, Newcastle players coming through haven't been given that opportunity. Well, not many of them. And it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. They almost then start to believe, well, maybe I'm not good enough. Whereas in Adelaide, they believe they are. They believe they're going to get an opportunity. And you can see with the proliferation of talent that's come out of Adelaide, gone overseas. 4 members of that under-20 young Socceroos squad. That's a dangerous one. That is very dangerous. Bartuli.
That is faith in the goalkeeper.
Back it comes for Bayless. Nodding it towards Gibson. It is bouncing all over the joint here for Adelaide. Ryan White eventually brings it onto the tarmac. Shush now. Bayless. So just sitting in a little bit of a lull this match after Newcastle took the lead in the second half. Wilmering. Probably coming off one of his best moments in a Jets jersey. Shush now. And is getting a little bit scrappy here. Both sides just giving over possession rather cheaply.
Getting close to that hour mark, aren't we, Benny? We spoke that both teams have played a couple of friendlies against lesser competition. Well, this is a step up. It's still early in the pre-season, and you can start to think fatigue would be kicking in for a lot of these players.
So Wilmering winning that foot race. So a little bit of a change for Adelaide with Yull moving over to the far side to Cooley on this near flank.
They tried that in the first half, didn't they? Cooley was getting no change out of Aquilina, said, well, I'll go on the other side. And now he's getting no change out of Wilmering.
That's the thing. Cooley more of a direct runner. I thought it was the technical ability of Yull that was really challenging Wilmering. I feel like you put him in a foot race with someone, he's probably going to win out. But that ability of Yull just to move him left and right was what caused the headaches. So Ben Gibson scored the opener for Newcastle. He was playing in the NPL New South Wales. Rob Stanton plucked him out of that competition in 2024. Gave him an opportunity in the A-League. Has not taken a backward step. And for a large part of the start of last season, he was the first choice striker. Lockie Rose was out injured. And for those wondering, Lockie Rose not playing tonight. Well, just a bit of soreness for him. They didn't want to risk him tonight. So they want to make sure he's cherry ripe for the A-League season. Burgess. Wilmering. Oh, a little bit of contact as Bayless finds Bertoncello. He has got a strike on him. Bertoncello was well blocked off by the Reds, and they needed to. And here comes some changes for the Jets. So Ethan De Bono, one of those, and it looks as though it's Bertoncello who may be the man replaced. And Ben Gibson, the other one. Stefan Mork, it would seem, here for Adelaide United.
Substitution for Adelaide United.
Further clarification.
Harry Crawford, number 58, come on for number 6, Stefan Mork.
So Crawford on for Mork.
2 substitutions for
the
Newcastle
PA here.
United. Number 46, Ethan De Bono, coming on for
Here
number
comes
43,
Ethan De Bono, who is making his senior debut for the Newcastle Jets, the Terrigal United junior. He's previously been in the Bulls and Mariners Academy.
Coming on for number 11, Ben Gibson.
Dobson coming on for Gibson. So it would seem that Battalato is going to play in the role that Gibson has vacated up top. And De Bono, first touch in Jets colours. He's actually a Maltese under-19 international as well. Ethan De Bono played for them back in 2023 against Ukraine and Kosovo, and he played in the schoolboys Australian under-18s with Tom Waddingham. So he's got some talent. It's Ethan DeBono and Will Dobson coming on in midfield. We saw him last season in the A-League, 12 appearances, the one start for Dobson as Adelaide. Yull touching it on. Ivanovic just couldn't catch up with it in time, and Delianov, his old teammate, aware of the danger he possesses. It's a big loss though for the Reds. Crawford comes in for, we know he's a talent of course, but Stefan Mork, well, he's actually still out there,
Yeah,
Mork. So
just trying to work that out myself.
there was an error with the board. There was no doubt 6 came up. Anyway, come back and have a little look at how that is playing out. Shoulder to shoulder, up comes the flag. The foot race between Takuli and Aquilina. So Reds with another couple of changes. And this is a Reds debut for Julian Kvaetal, the Dutchman. He's about to make his debut for the Reds. He was actually signed by Adelaide last season, then he was loaned to FC Eindhoven in the Dutch second division. Now that substitution that just came up, so that has now taken place. So I think Adelaide just wanted to rejig things for a moment, so they didn't make the change immediately, as we thought.
Substitution
So
for
now
Adelaide,
Mork is
43,
replaced
Julian
by Crawford.
On for number 19, Yaya Takuli.
So Kvaetal, with his first involvement as an Adelaide United player. So yeah, signed midway through last season, then loaned out immediately to FC Eindhoven. Oh, got to be careful, Vartuli. And Battalato bearing down on him. Kvaetal will track it down with the fresh legs. Hooks it to the back post. Aquilina safety first. So Kvaetal for Takuli, Crawford for Mork. Those changes for Adelaide.
To get a look at Kvaetal. Quite a tall lad. 22 games last season, no goals.
20 matches, I should say 20 years of age. So youngster, you can see possession in each third. Newcastle able to control the match for the most part. Burgess able to glide into some space down the right, but the inboard pass to Mizunuma. Well, less than 25 to go in regulation time. They lead Newcastle, but I tell you, this Maitland Sports Ground will be quite nervous if it remains a 1-goal lead. We get closer and closer to full time, because it only takes one moment. Max Cooper getting across. Well-timed challenge. Rain has stopped falling though midway through this second half. It was quite steady throughout the majority of the first 45. So a bit more pleasant for the players and coaching staff. Parias pushing further up the pitch, getting in behind Wilmer and Dylan Parias. And his finishing just let him down, but it is more positive from Adelaide. Dylan Parias, we've already touched on this in the second half, getting further up the pitch into those positions.
Yeah, and when you think about the first half, we spoke that Mark Milligan wants a high press. You can't do that, particularly early in the season for the whole game. It was a wonderful ball. Daniel Wilmering will be a little bit relieved that Parias couldn't find the finish, just misjudging the flight of that ball. But a little warning sign for the Jets that if they think this is done and dusted, well, Adelaide have other ideas.
Look at that, 18 shots to 4, but more recent strikes from range for Newcastle. Getting a lot more of those chances inside the box in the first sort of half an hour. It's funny, isn't it, Macca? Newcastle scored a goal in the start of this second half. You know where I'm going with this. They scored a goal in the first part of this second half. They played better in the first part of the first half and didn't score. Yeah. It's funny how
that's football for
football
you,
works. Wilmering looks for the early ball. Maybe just delayed it a touch and allowed Adelaide, the reinforcements, to get back and cut it out.
Well, it was another good position Wilmering found himself in. Just sloppy on the cross again.
So don't forget, after tonight's matches wrap up in the Australia Cup, we will have the draw for the round of 16. Find out where those matches will be getting played. Who is hosting who? Aquilina, little scoop over the top. Cooper's header. So, now if you look around the grounds Australia Cup, it's pretty comfortable for Metro Stars. So South Australian fans will be very happy with that. They are pretty much through. Canberra, Croatia have got a red card as well, so 4-0 in that one. 0-0 in the Brisbane Derby. Doesn't surprise me. City and Olympic. It felt like that one had extra time written all over it. Two teams who only played a few weeks ago in the NPL. And then a cup set maybe brewing at Leichhardt. And it is a very young Melbourne City side, younger than usual. As Adelaide here pushing on Jovanovic. Little deflection. This is a corner for Adelaide.
Well, that all started through the midfield with Vital. He was strong and fleet of foot and released the pass in behind the Jets' defence. And that got them on the front foot.
So corner kick is a deep one. The header is on top of the net. As the hands go to the head of Kikianis. Can pop up for a goal. Grabbed 2 last year. A late equaliser against Perth Glory from memory.
Well, he had plenty of time and space there, didn't he? Be a bit of an inquiry in the Jets' defence as to why he had so much time.
I feel like Shushnia would be thinking he's going to look after Bart Vreens, but yeah, does allow the other centre-back, Kikianis, space if Shushnia goes to the Dutchman. So the rain has returned. For the final 20 minutes, maybe this one. It's just basically a low pressure system. Sorry to go all meteorology on you, Macca. Low pressure system just sitting over sort of New South Wales at the moment.
You're taking me back to Max Burford and his green grass talks back in Adelaide last year. I know you'll be watching, Max. Thanks for that. Maybe you can get together with Benny and talk about the low system and how that affects the grass.
I feel for Max. His Port Adelaide team a bit of a rough trot this season. Hope He's going all right. One thing we haven't mentioned tonight, new assistants for both of these two sides. Adrian Stenter coming on at Adelaide after about 5-6 years with the A-League women's team. A couple of third-place finishes in that competition. And Nick Stavroulakis, former Victory assistant, Rockdale Lillenden head coach at Newcastle. There's an overlap coming from Newcastle. And a corner kick was well worked down the right. Aquilina again. Absolutely working his way into this second half. He is running freely. You can see that right across screen there. Wilmering looking for the short option. And Mizunuma returns it to the left footer. And Mizunuma's cross is blocked, which is a good outcome for Adelaide because he can regularly put it on the spot. He got 4 assists for the Jets, and that was only after coming in at the back end of last season. He only played 12 matches, grabbed 4 assists. Aquilina led the assists for Newcastle last year with 6, and he played more than double the matches of the Japanese
substitution for the Newcastle Jets.
Newcastle with another change. Bayless being replaced by Costa Grozos. I wonder whether he will grab the armband off Aquilina. Bayless, his work appreciated by his head coach, Mark Milligan. Got a fair bit of game time last season, Lockie Bayless, after the previous season was dealing with a bit of osteitis pubis, so he's certainly a talented young technician, the 23-year-old. So 3 changes used by Newcastle. Grozos, Dobson, De Bono on. They've still got Nasser, Nunez, Shakluna, Lucas Shakluna, brother of Dylan, who's come from the Mariners, playing in the youth team this year for Newcastle. Adelaide, here comes Dylan Parias, nudging it in front of Kfar Ital. And just not on the same wavelength, the Dutchman, as Parias. Maybe a little bit of understanding to come between those two. Dobson. Burgess. That languid running style. Utilising Mizunuma, then making himself available for the 1-2. Grozos, he'll really bring that steady head stability into midfield. Shushnia. Save out of Vartuli. We mentioned in the first half he's got that in his locker.
It's not the first strike from long distance tonight. Wet conditions. Save there. Bad effort.
They just want to keep playing, don't they, Newcastle? Another short corner. Mizunuma driving it low. Pressure on the Reds. Can they break free of the Newcastle press? Finding space down the left. Cooper cutting it out for the Jets. And Will Dobson now running into some space. Can he find an assist here? De Bono making the run into the 6-yard box. That was a near thing. Newcastle almost able to make it 3-1. The debutant so close to being on the scoreboard. He's got 11 goals in the Football New South Wales League 1. And it is very open at the moment. Parias down the right. Delianov will have to be quick, and he is effective in the wet. It is impeding there.
Well, again, it's Parias down that right-hand side, just asking a question or two of the Jets' defence. Every time he looks up, he sees Ivanovic central. Looking to get into that danger area between the penalty spot and 6-yard, but Delianov, he saw it coming, took a step forward and gathered well.
So Newcastle Jets with the lead heading into the final 13 minutes of regulation time. Dobson and De Bono, free kick here coming for the Jets. And is there a yellow card potentially? No. For a moment the referee was going over for a chat there with Bart Vreens, and turns to the sideline because there's another change here for Adelaide. So Adelaide giving away this free kick. Which Max Burgess is now standing over, and Wilmering unmarked down the left. That's where Shushnia goes now. Turn from De Bono. Close control in a tight area. Battalato now with Dobson. Jets able to peel wide. The cross is met by an Adelaide United clearance. Grozos. Shushnia between the lines, slip through. That is lovely build-up from Newcastle. Here's Hanuma. It looked as though it was the perfect opportunity to make it 3-1. They're really applying the pressure now, the Jets. Here's Aquilina, the captain, driving it across goal. Fatuli sticking out a leg. Adelaide, they can break here. Shushnia, he has to make the foul. The referee will hand out the yellow card. It was probably a decision that had to be made.
It was a good foul because Adelaide had numbers going forward. If he allowed, it was Jovanovic, was it, to turn and play, you can see on the far side, that would have been a dangerous position.
Oh, how about that for a tackle from De Bono. So Shushnia into the referee's notebook. So Adelaide looking to turn around this 2-1 scoreline and make it through to the round of 16 for the 10th time, which would break new ground. 9 is the record held by Western Sydney, Sydney and Adelaide at the moment. Newcastle trying to avoid a round of 32 defeat for a record equaling 7th time. The only other club that's been knocked out in the round of 32 as many times, 7 times I should say, Jets are at 6 at the moment, is the Mariners. Yull. And Jovanovic, so close. It was well read by Shushnia.
Well, that was a timely intervention from Shushnia. We saw Bart Vreens at the other end not too long ago with one as well.
Substitution for Adelaide United sees number 42, Austin Ayubi, take the pitch in replacing number 9, Luka Jovanovic.
Who scored a couple of times in the Australia Cup last year. He was damaging. Scored twice in the A-League as well. So Jovanovic replaced by Ayubi. It looks like, just have a look here who is playing in that centre. I thought it might be Kfar Ital. I think it will be Ayubi for the moment. Arias, ooh, that was a moment Wilmering would like to have over, and Adelaide very nearly profit. Well, gee, he has had a rocks or diamonds night, hasn't he, Wilmering?
Yeah. One a little earlier as well where he misjudged it. Arias had a great opportunity, 1v1, and skied it over the bar. And there's another one. Those little moments that can really turn a game.
Fatuli's clearance, only as far as Grozos. Burgess. He's just been buzzing around, hasn't he, everywhere. Max Burgess, an impressive return to Newcastle.
Well, he'll just be loving playing football again, won't he? Cast aside by Sydney last year, left in the wilderness.
Aquilina. Get in the home fans. I don't want the Newcastle Jets dicing with a bit of danger there. Ooh, well. As up comes the flag for offside. We've got some very interesting news around the grounds in the Australia Cup. We mentioned Metro Stars, they're basically through. They just need to get themselves to full time. 4-0 up against Canberra, Croatia. Brisbane City have just taken the lead against Olympic FC in the 84th minute. Apia Leichhardt, 2-0 they lead Melbourne City. And I must say, full credit to Apia Leichhardt, but for those going, Melbourne City, they just won the grand final. It is a young Melbourne City team, very young. Too much experience in that lineup tonight, but plenty of credit going to Apia Leichhardt. They've done it before in the Australia Cup. They beat Western Sydney Wanderers and Melbourne Victory 2018. And that was after Melbourne Victory were champions of the A-League. And then Western Sydney in 2021. So slipped, looking for De Bono, in behind again. Delenov. Shushnia. Leonov's clearance. Full to Aquilina. Newcastle here. Adelaide knowing that they have to push forward, so there's going to be space here for the Jets. Wilmering, it's a lung-busting run from him down the left, looking to recycle through Battalato. Mizunuma, Dobson. What about the touch there from Mizunuma? Dobson cutting it back. Battalato, shut down by Adelaide. Newcastle really sensing this is a moment here. Burgess, and just a little too heavy for Otto Mizunuma. 5 minutes remaining in regulation time. Nervy moments here around Maitland Sports Ground.
Yeah, you can hear the anxiety in the crowd. They've really controlled the game for large portions, the Jets, but you feel that any time.
Crawford, can he get it onto that left boot? We saw him score that magical goal in the A-League last year. And a little bit of a wrestle there with Shushnia. Oh, here we go. Crawford v Shushnia. Shushnia liking to get himself about. Having a few words to the youngster, the 18-year-old. Remember Harry Crawford's story. He made his A-League debut 3 hours after playing an NPL match for Adelaide last year in their academy. It was an injury issue for the Reds, and was called in to the first team and then debuted that night and scored that stunning goal against Brisbane in March. So Newcastle with a change. It looks as though it's Alex Nunes here for Max Burgess. Nunes, who last played for the first team in the round of 16 of the Australia Cup last year against MacArthur. So he the shorter of the two there, with Lucas Shakluna about to replace Porta Mizunuma. So two very experienced players going off for Newcastle, and the youngsters being given the chance here to close this match out.
Substitutions for the Jets sees Number 41, Lucas Sisluna on Fakota Mitsunuma. And number...
Little push in the back of Dobson. Referee is going to come back and give a free kick. And Newcastle are saying, well, why didn't you play advantage? Referee, I think, was going to...
I think the referee may have thought that that ball was going to be cut out, but a couple of minutes to go. I don't suppose the Jets will be complaining if a few more seconds tick off the clock for bringing it back for the free kick.
No, certainly, certainly. So this will be an Adelaide free kick. So Adelaide exploiting a bit of space on offer down the left now. Cross to that back post where Crawford is stationed, but Wilmering just played the disruptor role well there.
Give
4
yourselves
seconds
a
tick
big
off the
round of
clock.
applause, Maitland, on a nice rainy night here at Maitland. The crowd number is 2,167 people.
Well, that is a very decent crowd on a wet night in Maitland. So it's about 40 minutes drive from the Newcastle CBD.
Depending on traffic.
Depending on traffic. Late on or not, look at that. The grandstand absolutely packed. Wasn't too bad, the drive out, to be honest. Maitland City Council really helping out the Newcastle Jets, keeping this facility in immaculate condition. This is where Newcastle Jets are based. They used to be based at the University of Newcastle, but now at Maitland for the last 4 seasons or so. 5 seasons maybe now. Flick on towards DeBono, but Adelaide now. Well, they really have to go for it. They have to create a chance of note. And the fact that they haven't really done so to this point in the second half, not a gilt-edged chance, you would say. Maybe Parias with that chance he pushed over the bar. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, because we know what happens in these moments in a knockout match. Everything seems to just tighten up a little bit. Dobson and Shush now just getting their wires crossed. So how much stoppage time will there be? Wilmering's going to leave this for Delianov. 4 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be a minimum of 4 minutes time added on.
Well, it's all or nothing for Adelaide, isn't it? They need to commit bodies forward.
They really just have to go for it. I'm surprised Delianov here just doesn't drop the... Yeah, here we go. Finally, an Adelaide player comes towards him. They were really hanging off. There's Nunez to roll it around the corner. Cooper, he's been assured in that centre-back role alongside Shush now. Down he goes. Well, this is another free kick for the Jets. And this is the 18-year-old showing the experience of a veteran.
Well, it's Costa Grozos, his captain from last year. Tell him to get up quicker.
So Parias really breathing down the neck of Wilmering. So Wilmering launching the throw over the head of Nunes, really skipping off this damp surface, and it made life really difficult for Bart Vreens. And here goes Nunes. Got a little nudge in the back. De Bono, they want a third here, Newcastle. Ethan De Bono bearing down on goal. Well, he got the next best thing, and that is a corner for the Jets with a couple of minutes of stoppage time remaining.
Well, great pressure on the halfway line. Breens just couldn't quite get it under control, and then they're away. 3 or 4 red shirts in unison. Scrambled back well, the Adelaide defence. It's valuable seconds ticking away.
The referee saying hurry up. They've already chewed off about 30 seconds in that little passage. Brozos, does Dobson take it to the corner? Still a bit of time left. Brozos threads the ball. Little back heel. Oh, look at that from Newcastle. Into the back of the net. But up comes the flag for offside. So the celebrations immediately quietened. And Adelaide is still alive. 1 minute left in stoppage time. Is there a little bit more drama? Newcastle thought they'd won it. For sure. Adelaide with a lifeline. But they don't have a whole lot of time remaining. Newcastle playing Adelaide for the 4th time in the Australia Cup. They hadn't scored against them coming into tonight. They hadn't beaten them either. Aquilina, the captain, what a brave performance he's put in after that heavy clash in the first half. Trickles down to Vartuli, who just thinks, I've got to launch this downfield. Probably about 15 seconds. It's all on the generosity of Josh Attard, the referee tonight. It'll be a Reds throw. Andrioli barking out instructions from the Adelaide technical area. Referee having a little look at the watch. He's adding on a few more seconds. Little bit of space for Ayubi. And the youngster, the 18-year-old Cooper, who's done a magnificent job all night. He is flat on his back. Referee going over to have a chat to him. He's just giving his team a chance to have a little breather and compose themselves for these final seconds. Well, let's hope that's all it is, because maybe he's just cramped up here as well. Yeah, it looks as though it's just cramped, so you would expect there is not long left here. Adelaide probably need the long throw. Kvar Ital, a potential target. Bart Vreens getting down towards the penalty spot. Here comes the cross. It is deep. It's off the head of Wilmering. A chance here for the Reds. Delianov should claim, and the former Red. And Newcastle take down the 3-time Australia Cup champions. And the Mark Milligan era at the Jets begins on a winning note. It was Adelaide who scored first. Stefan Mork opening the scoring in the 15th minute, but then Ben Gibson and Alex Battalato either side of half-time, ensuring full-time here at Maitland Sports Ground, and it finishes Newcastle Jets 2, Adelaide United 1. For just the second time, Adelaide United are defeated in the round of 32. It has not happened often. They are out. Newcastle march on. And the Mark Milligan era looks bright. This was the opening goal for Adelaide United, and it all came through the wonderful skill of Johnny Yull. Down the right edge turn, Wilmering inside and out, set up Stefan Mork. And the Reds were ahead 1-0, but Newcastle really dominated that opening period of the match. Adelaide scoring against the run of play. And a Jets side filled with academy products, including Burtoncello, Max Cooper as well, Bayless, but it was Gibson, the recruit from last season, who scored to open the new season. What a hit that was from the Manly United product. And then in the second half, well, Daniel Wilmering turned it all around. He had a big part to play in the early stages of that goal for Alex Battolato, who scored in Newcastle in the Australia Cup way back in 2021 for Western Sydney against Broadmeadow Magic. This time he was on hand for the home team. And Newcastle, 2-1 winners against Adelaide United. You can see 22 shots to 8. The Lions' share of possession. They certainly deserve this win. Adelaide with very limited sights on goal. And at full time, Newcastle Jets through to the round of 32. I should say through to the round of 16 for just the 4th time in club history. 2018, 2019 and 2024, and now 2025 for the Jets. Well, thanks for your company tonight at Maitland Sports Ground. It's the Newcastle Jets who are going through to the round of 16. Don't forget, next, it is the Australia Cup draw. All matches have finished. RPA Leichhardt beat Melbourne City. Brisbane City beat Olympic. The Metro Stars are through. And the Jets. The draw is next. Make sure you catch that on Paramount Plus. Thanks for your company tonight. Newcastle, 2-1 winners in the Hunter.